Welcome back, everybody, to LBS Response to episode number 14. And let me just tell you, it does feel really good to actually get back on this chair and finally answer these questions that have been sitting there for about 2 weeks now. Again, I'm sorry for the whole break, but this series will be coming back to about a weekly schedule, I guess. So let's get right into it, guys. We got quite a few questions for this week. My girlfriend, of course, is not on this episode. She might not be on next episode either, just due to scheduling stuff and planning. She's got some stuff now starting up for her, and just with that, it might maybe be a couple more weeks till she's on, but I definitely, again, want to get her on within the next couple weeks, if not maybe month for sure. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Let's move on to these questions, though, guys. I'm not going to answer every single one because there are 12 comments, and like 10 of them are questions. So without making this video too long, let's start off with Kai Love, I guess, and do his questions. He said, here's my questions. What's your thoughts of working on the retail or working retail after working at Target, and did it change your thoughts, and what things did you learn that helped you? So yeah, I really, growing up, again, I never had the intention on really getting a real job. That's just the truth of the matter. When I was 2 years ago to this day, 3 years ago, I never had in the foreseeable future, getting a job of any sort. But again, with just how stuff was happening and kind of what came up, I went ahead, got the job at Target. I figured, hey, this is the one job that, again, it's really good pay for just a entry-level job. I mean, I made, in the end of it, $13.86 an hour, so not too bad for that. And it was a store that, again, I could, find stuff that, all the stuff I could see what was on the shelf, what was on sale, what we got in the back, and I just think for all the things I collected, I think that was a perfect job for me. And in the end, it was. I really did enjoy it there. I'm never gonna say I didn't. I never had one bad day. Earlier on, of course, getting used to everything, it was a little weird, but I mean, come 4 months into it, 5 months after, I worked there for 11 months. I'll say that 11 months total. Once it hit about that halfway mark, it was a joy. It really was. It reminded me of high schools, and that's how fun it was. It really did. It was fun. It was just nice going to work, knowing I would get paid, and it was a great time. At the end of the day, I did my job. Towards the end, I literally, just between people that stayed there and just reputation, and I was a closing expert, like I kind of worked like nights towards the end. I was kind of flip-flopped. My schedule was never the same, but again, even up until the day I got fired, I was training people that were older than me. I ended up training again, another teenager. He was just in high school around here. Then I was in the middle of training a mom that was like 55. She worked at Kohl's like for her like actual career, and now she's kind of retired, and she just wanted to work at Target, I guess. But yeah, so I mean, I was at the point, again, 11 months in, I was training people like that, and I was working a lot of hours too. I really did enjoy everyone there. All my managers had no issue with them. I pretty much knew every single person that worked there. Like, it was not like an awkward work zone. And I mean, the more I talk about this, the more kind of sad I do get about it. But I guess on to bigger things now. But I definitely, I know every Target's different, and even like we would talk about it, like all the other Targets around this area, they don't seem to hire younger kids. Like even like the one like 40 minutes that way, and like even 10 minutes down the road that way. It just seems like there's no kids working there unless it's seasonal. But like for us, like again, we hired a lot of seasonal people that were kids, including myself, but a lot of us stayed after that. And I feel like a lot of the other Targets, they don't let those kids stay after the season. But I gotta say, guys, I mean, I guess I'll disclose it. I mean, actually, I won't disclose the area just because I don't want anyone to send anything to them. But the Target I did work at for 11 months, it was a joy. It was definitely not what I was expecting, and for kind of someone that graduated high school, kind of really sad about that. Going right into the work zone, involving the retail job all summer. I mean, again, it ate up my summer, most of it, but still, I mean, it was a good time. But that's pretty much that, and kind of what would help me is just not make those mistakes, and I guess in the end, just after that, really figure out the path I'm taking, and just in the end, I mean, my girlfriend says this too. I don't fully agree just because I kind of want to deny it. But, she even says, she's even a little happy that I got out of there just so I didn't want to, just to not run the risk of me wanting to make any, like, lifetime plans of just staying there forever. And, obviously not making that much money, to, like, sustain a real adult lifehood. Whether or not I was, again, I was talking to my manager about wanted to become the store lead. He came in from San Diego, California. He got transferred down here since his mom was not doing well, and I guess she had moved up around here. And he came in. He was talking to me one day. He said within a couple of years he wanted to become the store lead, and he wouldn't mind making me like his right hand man kind of. But again, all that's in the past. I mean, of course, I don't. I talked. I mean, in a sense, I still know everyone there. I don't keep in contact with anyone, but and I haven't even gone into that Target since. I really just can't. But I guess let's move on to the next question, just because that was most of the video, and that's kind of the reason why I didn't want to answer every question in this video, just for the fact of. I knew that was going to be a big one. He also said, when was the best time to buy Lego sets like Amazon and etc. because I always miss out. Very quick answer to that. I do recommend following Brick University on Instagram, and then also the Lego Deals subreddit. Both of those are areas that I go to on a regular basis. I have Brick University's post notifications on Instagram, and he posts, probably 5 times a day, honestly, and he posts some really good deals on there. He posts all the stuff that's up to date. People send him the deals. He's kind of like the hub of, just where people post deals at. And the same with that Reddit. I would recommend checking out that. But let's move on to the next question, guys. Let's go on to Lego Legend. He said, thanks for answering my question. Sounds like you have a really big room/basement. For the next episode, my question is, what lighting do you use your videos? Because I usually don't have proper lighting. I don't use any lighting aside from just the overhead lighting, which are just LED. They're white bulbs. They're kind of, they're the horizontal ones. You've guys seen them in my videos. For a couple of them, I do use those umbrella lights, but I don't have a third one above it, so it makes the lighting really awkward. But I do those whenever you guys see a white background. I use those umbrella lights. They're Proxel, it says on the side. I got them off Amazon for like $80 a couple of years ago, so not too bad. But again, hopefully I can make better use of them eventually. But thank you for that question. Moving on to R Mallstar 100. He says, I am curious. I know he pays you to plug his website, but if you could be straight up, that would be solid. What do you think of Republic Bricks? Kind of hard to ask because I know he does kind of sponsor you, but I am just curious to see what your response would be. Keep up the good work, man. So, yes, he technically does. He doesn't sponsor pure videos. Like, he doesn't, like, straight up sponsor me, but, I mean, it's almost like a half and half. Again, there's a royalty every time that code's used. I'm not going to disclose how much per time, but I mean, it's not a whole bunch, but it's also not like super low. So I mean, it helps out both of us in the end. I mean, he's not like losing money per se just because of the code, and it definitely. I mean, it's a nice check at the end of the month. I'm not going to lie, but if I'm being honest with him, again, I've never had an issue with him. I mean, again, even. Bottom line of it, I guess I can maybe say that just for the fact I've known him for so long, and like at the end of the day, maybe he of course he doesn't want to send me a bad figure or pays extra double attention when he sends me something just to be sure. Since he knows I'll make a video about it, I used to at least have a pretty big fan base that again, if something went wrong, I not really expose him, but the same with anybody. I mean, anybody that would send me stuff. I mean. At least, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I mean, I had, 500 to 1,000 viewers every video that if someone were to scam me, which I've had people scam me before, I might make a video on that eventually. I've been scammed out of like $500, but yeah, honestly, I don't think he has any bad intentions with anything. I mean, he's in it to make, a living off of it. I mean, he clearly is. I mean, some of the information he's disclosed. And honestly, I mean, all the stuff you heard about him, years ago, you know what I mean? Like back when he was Lego Customs 84, with those, the fake first order Stormtroopers, if you remember that. All that was like literally 2015, 2016 era, and all the Republic Brick stuff, involving, cracked things, and scratched torsos. Like, I mean, I haven't heard one of those stories come up in like a year. So again, it was all just stuff starting out. I mean, benefit of the doubt. I mean, he's got, majority positive feedback. And I'll continue and until something happens to me, is it like, he scams me out of something or does something wrong, or there's something that, publicly gets announced that he did really wrong, that's not just maybe accidentally sending a scratched torso like every month, once a month. And then at that, I'll continue to, let him, I'll continue to do the deal and continue to kind of, I mean, I still, again, order from him separate. He doesn't send me everything for free. He sends me a few things, but I do still, order from him, pay him money. So I guess at the end of the day, I mean, I'm almost just paying him back what he gives me, but hey, what can you say? Part of the game, I guess, but I do got to give him, again, like a solid 9 out of 10 as a business, itself. I really do got to say that. Moving on to Arc, he says at 444 is that custom BB-8 on the left. He's talking about that one you guys see in my videos. That's actually just a Toys R Us promo. I do have a separate video about it on my channel a couple months ago. SB says, why do you leave some sets sealed? Really, for the moment, I just don't have room to open anything. It's really just one of those things where I don't want to open up something and build it and not have like that much enjoyment building it, since I'm gonna have to set it on like the ground eventually. Like, I've got so many sets I just compiled on those shelves and like tables that it's just not fun anymore. And until I get a better setup, I don't really feel like adding to it. And again, some of these, like all the sets you see behind me, are probably gonna permanently stay sealed. There's just, for me, there's no point of building some of these. Once it hits a certain point, you know, 2 years old, 3 years old, you know, retired, and you know, a sealed set's worth 3 times as much as it was, you know, or as what I paid for it, I personally don't see a point in opening it. I mean, at that point, I'd rather keep my, you know, save my money and keep my money and get my money's worth in the end than, you know, just building something that I could buy a used one for cheaper, you know, if you get what I'm saying. But there's the answer to that. BrickS Studios, this is the last question for this video, guys. He says, are you much of a gamer? So I do play a couple games. I'm still stuck on my Xbox 360. I mean, I'll be honest, that's the one system I do play. I have a PS4 at my mom's. I have one game for it. I don't play it. I played it, I think, 5 times, but I got it like 3 years ago. Since pretty much in like 7th and 8th grade, well, my brother grew up an Xbox 360. I got one then eventually myself. In like 7th and 8th grade, a lot of my buddies then were all Xbox 360 people, so I was kind of lucky. But moving on to, you know, like sophomore year, when my friend group kind of changed, all of them were PS4 players, so I didn't have one. So I went out, I asked my mom, yo, can I get one really quick? She's like, yeah. I feel bad in the end, you know, again, that I haven't used it that much, but you know, a lot of my friends, you know, none of them are really gamers anymore. I mean, a couple of them are, but they're all off doing their own thing. And I have an Xbox One that I've played more than the PS4, but the one thing I do want to, I do play MW3, Modern Warfare 3. I play Left 4 Dead 2. Those are the 2 games that you'll catch me on pretty much. I mean, not every day, but whenever I do play a video game, you have like kind of a gaming session, those are the 2 games I play. I'm very good at both. I mean, that's part of the reason why I continue to play them. I've got multiple friends and friend groups on those that I play with. I tend to not lose on majority of those. I have a very good time, you know, because of that. And yeah, I mean, eventually I want to get into, you know, if I get a better setup with my Xbox One, maybe play, you know, backwards compatibility with my MW3, maybe make the quality a little bit better. But other than that, I'm just stuck on my Xbox 360 with my regular controller and a $5 mic. So that's pretty much what I'm doing with that. So that's pretty much all for this LBS response to you guys. This is probably about a 20-minute video. It's a pretty long video. I know that Target rant went on for a while. But yeah, well, thank you guys all for watching. Leave your comments down or your questions for next week, and see you guys later. Peace out. Bye. 5% off on your next LEGO purchase. Be sure to use code LIFEBRICK. That's capital L-I-F-E BRICK at republicbricks.com for 5% off your next order. We'll pretty much pay for your shipping or get you a couple dollars off. They sell old LEGO minifigures, sets, mystery boxes, and more. I've got a couple of videos on my channel showing the products, so be sure to use code LIFEBRICK on your next order for 5%.